If you're thinking of purchasing a new laptop, here are 10 things you need to check immediately before you give your money out. But before that, here are a few things you need to carry around. A USB drive with a reasonable amount of software, a headphone, or if you don't have this, you can get the inexpensive ones like this, maybe for 20 cedis or something like that. And if you're a photographer or a content creator, you might as well get an SD card. Now, the first thing to check is the battery of the laptop. So once you have the laptop in front of you, disconnect all the chargers and let it run on its battery so that you can know how long it takes. Now, you can just open up Windows and type in timer or clock. You also notice it comes with the alarm option, and you can actually set a stopwatch. So I'll just click on play just to see how long the battery takes for this entire test to run. Then after all these tests, we check the battery remaining so that we know how long the battery is going to last. You can also just click on the battery icon at the bottom here, but I would say you don't get the exact duration. I would say it depends on what you are doing at that particular moment. So setting a timer is what I would recommend. The second thing is testing out the webcam. So if you are going to be using this for Zoom calls, definitely you need to check the camera. So just open up Windows and type in camera. And as you can see here, my webcam is working quite neatly. So I don't have any issues with that as well. You may also want to take a couple of pictures or record a video to see if it saves correctly. Number 3 is checking the connectivity, so via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, if the laptop comes with that. So right now we have smartphones which can just create hotspots for that. So you can just create a hotspot with your smartphone, go into the wireless option, then you should be able to see your Wi-Fi hotspot here and connect to it to make sure that the Wi-Fi is also working. You can open up any web page. With Windows, you can use, well, we are no longer using Explorer, but you can use the Microsoft Edge to browse whatever it is that you want to browse. So open up YouTube, open up Instagram, open up a web page to see that the internet actually works. Now the next thing is to check the specifications that come with it. So the core count, the number of gigabytes of RAM and all of that. Now to do that, you can just hold down the Windows key and press R. This will bring up the run option, then type in DXDIAG. That is the DirectX diagnostic. It will ask you to confirm by tapping yes, but since I've already done this before, I can just open it up right here. So in this case, the seller said it's running on AMD A8 processor. So as you can see down here where we have the processor, that is the exact same thing I have here. In some cases, you may see the Intel Core i5, i3, i9, and all of that. If it is also running on 6th gen or 9th gen or 11th gen, you should see something like 6,000 and a bunch of other numbers. That is the 6th gen. So 7,000 would be 7th gen, 11,000 and a bunch of other numbers would be 11th gen, and so on and so forth. You can also go ahead and check the display to make sure that it is running on the actual display that the seller said on the page. Now, right at the system option, you can also check the number of installed RAM. In my case, it is 8 gigabytes. That is what the seller says, and that is also fine with me. I can upgrade this laptop to 16 gigabytes, but that's something we'll do later on. Another thing you can do to check the specifications is just press on the Windows key and type in Device Manager. And still on the processor, we want to check if the core count is exactly what they said. So just go into Processors right here and just click on the little arrow right here, and you see mine is running on 4 different cores. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if it is an 8 core, 16 core, 32 core, you see 16 of this, you see 32 of this, you see 8 of this. And that will tell you whether the core count is also accurate. Now the fifth thing is to check the hard disk space or SSD storage. Now to do that, you just have to open up the File Explorer down here, or you can use Windows key plus the letter E. So in my case, it is running on 240 gigs of SSD. I actually installed the SSD myself. It actually came with 1 terabyte of hard disk, which is now an external hard disk somewhere here. So I checked and it was exactly what it was. So you can check that also right up here. Now the sixth thing which I found very important is the screen size and resolution. So this laptop is a 15.6 inches laptop, and as you can see, it's actually 15.6. It's not 14, it's not 13 inches. Now what I would want to check is the display settings. So to do that, just right click on anywhere on the desktop and just go to display settings. Now in some cases, a 15.6 laptop will come in around 1366 resolution, but in my case it's a 1080p resolution. So if I click on display resolution, as you can see, it's 1920 by 1080p. So this laptop comes with HD resolution. Other cases is going to be right around 1280 by 1024 and 1360 by 764, somewhere around that range. So be sure to check this also. And for number 7, the interesting one, if you came along with a USB flash drive, insert this into every single individual port on the laptop to test and see that it is actually working. So I have 3 USB ports on this, so I can just check on that. I will insert it into the first one and it is working nicely. I'll take it out, insert it into the second one, and that is also working nicely. Then the third one is on the right, so I'll do that right around here, and that is, where can I find it? And that is also working neatly. Like I said, if you can come with any input-output device, carry them along. If you can get an Ethernet cable, also check the Ethernet port. If you can come with an HDMI compatible monitor, test and see that the HDMI port is also working. Now I did say also come with a pair of headphones just to make sure that the audio jack is also working. So you slot it in, play some music and see if you can hear the sound coming out of the laptop. That is also important, because if it doesn't work, you can't connect external speakers to it. So if you want to watch a movie and connect your sound system to it, if the port is not working, you can't do that. So make sure you test that as well. And for my friends out there, if you're a photographer or a content creator, you know that we use this SD card to shoot videos with our cameras. So you definitely need one of these to test out and see that the card slot that is coming with the laptop is also working. In this case, it is also working because I tested it out. And on the subject of checking the port and the audio jack is testing the speakers. So go ahead and play some music or some sound of any sort and see that the audio is also working neatly. So as you can hear, the speakers are working just fine. In this case, they are front-facing speakers, so you can only hear them right here. It doesn't extend to the back, and that is also okay. Now, number 9 is testing if it has any overheating issues. Now, after running all of these tests, by now you should feel a little bit of heat right around the vent where the CPU is located, or the CPU fan is also located. But in this case, it's quite cool, so I noticed that it doesn't come with any overheating issues. And also, if you are installing some of the applications, make sure you run a few of them to see if it crashes the application due to overheating issues. So if you see something like that, no, you are not supposed to purchase it. Now for number 10, this is by far among the most important, is testing the keyboard and the mouse. So test all, for the mouse is quite basic. All 3 of them should work. The touchpad, the left and right click button should work. But open up Notepad and type in all the characters that you typically would use on the daily to see if they are actually working. So as many as you can, just know that all the keyboards are working. Press every single key on it. There are some which will be stuck and they will keep repeating itself, but I mean, you have to check that as well. So that's about it. Do all of these before you hand out your money, and you don't have to go home with so much regret using the laptop for about an hour and you notice a lot of issues with this. Now mind you, this tip isn't foolproof. There are some hidden features or issues that you may not notice right away. It may take a couple of hours before you even notice them. So be sure to check a couple of them. Spend about an hour with the laptop to see that it doesn't come with any issues before you hand out your money. And also, if you're buying from a second-hand dealer, at least go with a shop so that if you have any issues, you can go back to the shop and not an individual person that you met at the marketplace or at the shopping mall or some random place that you may not see the person ever again. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to share it with a friend. Who knows, you may be helping someone with a couple of these tricks. Also, be sure to like and follow for more videos like this one.